What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone. Today we are going to do a bit of an old-fashioned kind of myth-busting Dylan Talks Tone kind of video. As you are aware, I just got this new Martin D28 and it's phenomenal. This guitar is fantastic. It's everything I hoped it would be and more. We'll do a full review on it coming up here pretty soon. Although you know what a D28 is, if you've been around guitars for any amount of time, you just know it's amazing because it's a D28, right? It's like the standard for acoustic guitars. It is brand new, okay? And it's not like the special vintagey ones or, you know, it doesn't have a torrefied top or any of that kind of stuff where they've pre-aged anything. It's just a brand new, normal D28, nothing special about it. Besides the fact that D28s are all special. We got a piece of equipment that I think you'll be interested in. Before we get into that, do me a favor, hit the like button and the subscribe button, the little bell next to it. If you've already subscribed, please just make sure that you still are. YouTube unsubscribes people for no reason. We're at like 92,000 subscribers now, and I'm really trying to get to 100,000, so that would be awesome. Do me a favor and just do that if you would. Also, everything we talk about in the video today, there's going to be links to it in the description, and of course, links to Dylan Talks Tone where you can buy guitar pickups. Okay, so this thing, the Tone Rite. This is a piece of equipment that is alleged to, once you leave this on the guitar for an extended period of time, break in your guitar, your acoustic guitar. It is supposed to play in your acoustic guitar. So the idea is that older acoustic guitars sound better than new ones. This is not really a myth. I mean, you've played probably old acoustic guitars versus new ones, and they do sweeten up over time. You know, the wood changes a little bit, the finish changes a little bit, the braces, you know, depending on the humidity of the wood and all that kind of stuff when it was constructed versus years of playing time and exposure to the elements, as well as, you know, different humidity changes and stuff. The physical, almost dimensions on a small scale of an acoustic guitar can change over time. So there is some, you know, you've probably heard it, so it's not a myth or it's not anything we make up in our heads. Acoustic guitars do change over time. Where I think the myth busting comes in is that we could buy this thing. I'll leave a link to it in the description if this is something you want to try for yourself. We're going to test this piece of equipment. We're going to do a before and after. I have my doubts about this. You know me and snake oil stuff. I think this is dumb. But a lot of people say it really works. Let me show you how it works. You open up the box and the paper falls out on the floor, and it's got this like really nice fancy padding to make you think that this is a fancy thing. And what this is it's a piece of electricity with a cable on it and a lamp cord. It's a lamp cord and a lamp dial dimmer switch thing. And it's a little box, okay? And it's got these little things on it, little rubber things. And what you're to do is put this onto your acoustic guitar like so. You push it in between the strings so it doesn't fall off, and you hold it, you place it down all the way to the bottom, like that, okay, towards the bridge. And you plug it into the wall. So we've got it plugged into the wall, and then we go ahead and we turn our switch on, and it makes a little humming noise. Can you hear that? And there's a couple different speeds here and intensities. So we've got the lowest here. Hopefully you can hear this through my wireless mic. You turn it up. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, now we got level 2. Oh, now we're wide open. Okay? It's like right about 3 different levels of this, okay? And you're supposed to basically leave this on the guitar for about a week. It says 100 hours. So we're going to go ahead and put this on this guitar for 7 consecutive days. I'm going to leave it in the corner of the living room where it doesn't have to be disturbed, where it can just stay plugged in doing this for 7 days. Now, the manual says that when you use this kind of low speed, it gives you one effect, and if you use this higher speed, it gives you a higher effect, a different effect. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate 24 hours like this, 24 hours like this, 24 hours like this, and 24 hours like this, all the way through the week. When we get done, I'm going to take it off of the guitar. I'm going to take it off the guitar, and I'm going to just play it right away in the room with you to see if there's any first rip impressions that I can get from this thing. Then we're going to come back in here and we're going to use the samples that we used in our last video for a before, and I'm going to play the same passages again, and we're going to see if we can tell a difference recorded. And I want you to get in the comments and tell me if you think that this thing made a difference in the sound of the guitar. Now, it doesn't have to be better or worse or louder or quieter, or we don't have to, there's no better or worse to this. I just want to see if it changed it any at all, and I want to know what you think. I am going to be very careful with a couple of things. Mic placement, as well as make sure that the settings and the EQ, so the EQ is going to be completely flat. We did that in the last video. And I'm going to double check to make sure that the levels and everything, I never quantize anything in our videos. I try to keep them really, really as realistic and flat as possible. But I'm going to double make sure that we have nothing variable from the last video to the best that I can do. So, and then I think what I want to do is I think I want to take this thing apart. I think I want to take it apart and see what's in here. Here's why. According to the manual, I just made some notes. It's going to help with resonance, balance, and range. Okay, so whatever that means. Resonance, I think, will be something I feel in the guitar. Balance, probably balance of tone, I would imagine, and range, like it could get better low end and better high end. We'll see. The subsonic frequencies that this thing gives us are meant to simulate the effects of long-term playing. In fact, subsequent treatments will maintain vintage tone. I want to see if those things will be true. What do you think? Before we get to that, get in the comments right now and tell me if you think this is BS or not. I don't know. I think it is, but I'm willing to try this. Okay, the thing I'm interested about is the subsonic frequencies. Now, from what I can hear with this thing, this is just variable 60 hertz from the wall. I want to take it apart and see what's in here. If this is literally just taking 60 hertz and just vibrating it to a spot that you can feel with a little vibrating motor like out of a cell phone. Okay. Anyway, after the test, we will take it apart because I don't know if I'll be able to get it back together. This might be a sacrificial mission. Okay, I want to bust in here. As you can see, the video's already done. In fact, I actually uploaded the entire thing to the internet. I was all done, and then I played the guitars, this guitar for a couple more days, and I had some additional thoughts that might throw this just a little bit. So watch the video, watch my initial conclusions of this, and then we will talk a little more at the end. This is a tough one. All right, so it's been a week. The guitar has been over here in the corner cooking on the little thing. So let's get it out of there and let's see what it did. What I want to do is we'll take it in the studio and we'll mic it up and we'll play the same stuff over again that we played in the beginning before we did this. But what I want to do now is just kind of see if there's a kind of a first impression, if you will. So what I'm going to do here is, so that we don't edit this, And you're not going to get, here, hang on. You're not going to get really like a full sound of what this thing does, but kind of in an uncut fashion. That's why I'm doing this. You will be able to get an idea of my first impressions and feel of the guitar, which I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's going to be in tune, so we'll just kind of have to play that by ear. Move my coffee table so I can go like this. All right, so yeah, I know it's a long, awkward cut, but I just wanted to be transparent about it. All right, so this is the same pick that I used last week. All right, I love this guitar. It sounds amazing. I can understand why everyone who's ever used one of these things and spent $150 for it says that it works. Because when you sit down and you're like, oh, this guitar is amazing, but also, I haven't played it in a week. So there's no way to do like a before and after. So we're gonna have to go. I mean, it sounds great and it feels great. I mean, it sounds fantastic, but it did before. So there's no way, if anybody ever says to you, I can totally tell a difference, bro, like between before and after, they're full of crap because there's no way to reference it in your head. You know, it's been sitting there for 100 hours. And I can't see it making a difference in 24 hours. So, you know, that's just sort of unreasonable in my opinion. But we have not done the real test. So let's go in the studio and let's go ahead and play the things that we played last week. And then I'll listen to them back to back, actually, through headphones. And you tell me what you hear, and I'll tell you what I hear. All right. So, here it is. It is literally a transformer coming in from the wall, and there's a little magnet. It's all it is a magnet that vibrates. We could probably plug it in with it open. But basically, all it is a little transformer with a little rubber bumper that vibrates the case. And this is a little oscillating magnet that goes back and forth. There's zero technology in here. This is not, there's no frequency, anything. All this is 60 hertz coming out of the wall with a little vibrating thing that basically just shakes back and forth with the 60 hertz coming out of the wall, which is what I thought it was, because that's what it sounds like and feels like. So this is, yeah, well, okay. Whatever. Let's go listen to it. I hate to say that this is stupid without hearing it first, but maybe I'll be surprised. All right. What did you think? It's so hard to tell. So they sound different. The problem is that any little playing dynamics can change the difference, right? Like, and on an acoustic guitar, for me, that's the thing. Like, was I playing harder before? It's hard to do this a week apart. My gut feeling is that maybe there's a little bit of change in it. Is it better or worse? Does it make it sweeter? Does it make it whatever? Maybe a little. The problem is that is it duplicatable enough? I mean, I would have to have a much more serious setup to give this. I spent the money for this to do this test. You may have different results. I don't know how conclusive it is. Will I say it's absolute snake oil? Probably not. Would I say it's worth spending $150 for? I think it depends on how much you play or how hard you play. I feel like the harder I played, the more I feel like I could tell a difference in some of those passages. But I don't know that to be true. You'd almost have to do this blind. So there was a study done. I'll leave a link to it in the description. And basically what it said was a study by a university, and they did a bunch of blind tests with a bunch of different musicians. And they said that you couldn't tell the difference between them. There was no real reason for this. And I think that the technology is just so basic and dumb that it just doesn't, I don't know how you could say that it would actually do anything. If you think differently, I don't blame you because I understand why you think it might work. I'm literally going to have to end this video saying the jury's still out. I'm leaning towards I feel it and hear it in some areas and not in others. And I don't know if that makes it worth buying. That is my opinion. Okay, so as you are probably aware, I thought this thing was stupid. I just did. I just thought it was dumb. Yes, there's no technology in it. Yes, it's a super, super simple device. Is it worth buying? Well, okay. I'm going to just say this. This Martin was very bright and jangly sounding when I first got it. After a week on that thing, after playing it a bunch, for a few days actually after I edited that video, I really feel like it has sweetened up some. I feel like a lot of that brightness has sort of, the edge of it is kind of gone. Like it's a little bit, it's just a lot fuller sounding. There's not one frequency that sticks out above the other. It's smoother. I hesitate to use the word warmer because that's a stupid tone word, but I just feel like it's just not as jangly and bright. Now here's the thing though. I don't know that I would have noticed it if it was the only guitar that I have. So when I bought this guitar, obviously my comparison was going to be this spruce top, rosewood back and sides, very similarly spec'd, but different brand and different, design ethos. Breedlove Premier Acoustic, and I really, really love this guitar. They're almost about the same price range. They're about this, they're the same quality. Like this guitar is very high end. And so you could say, all right, well, I'll compare it to this one, to that one. They're different. They're different. This guitar's got a lot more bass to it. So it's a lot bassier. There's not as much high end to it. It's got a lot of power in a different way, where the D28 was brighter and more articulate. So the reason I bring this guitar into the conversation is because there was a huge delta between these two guitars. The Martin was very, very bright, and this one was kind of the opposite. It would go the other way, bassy, kind of more canon, projecting, and this one was brighter and more articulate. And I think after we've used that thing, I think this has become a lot. It sort of leaned that direction of the Breedlove. It took that bright jangliness away. So, is that worth the $150 for this thing? I don't know, because if I didn't have these two guitars to compare, I would have probably never noticed it. However, can I say that it did nothing? I don't think so. I think I have to admit that it did a thing. I have to admit that it did a thing. Is it going to do the same thing on every guitar? I don't know, because this is the only time I've ever used it. It's a use case of one, right? I don't know. All I know is it is different. Is it better? That depends on what you want your guitar to sound like. Is it going to change your guitar and then you're not going to like how it sounds when it's done? Again, I don't know. It just kind of depends. These are weird conversations and things to admit. You know, I'm Mr. Snake Oil is Stupid guy. And here I am like, I don't know, man. It's kind of does a thing. It kind of does a thing. There you go. Let me know what you think and what you heard in the video. I tried to keep this as accurate as possible. Now the mic placement and stuff looks a little different because I was facing a little different direction, but I put it in the same spot over the sound hole, same distance, everything. I really did as best I could, but man, I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the like button, and we will see you in the next video.